Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we have 7 more NBA plays for you. Yesterday we only went 3 for 5, with Brandon Miller ending up going like 2 for 20, it felt like. Hornets did get the dub, so hey, 7 straight for the boys. But today we're back. Even though we went 3 for 5 yesterday, the hot streak from the 2 days before continues. We're still 13 for our last 16. So riding a hot streak, we're coming in here today with some momentum, and we're getting right into it. We're going down here for the first play of the day, and it's going to be to find old reliable Pascal Siakam and this Pacers offense that has been pretty solid. And for whatever reason, Prizepicks hasn't posted the line yet, but we're going to be taking Pascal Siakam on the over for points and assists. Anytime you're playing the Jazz, you're in a smash spot. It doesn't matter if your team is 13 and 36. Over his last, what is this, 8 games? Yeah, over his last 8 games, he's averaging 25 a game, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists. So we're going to be taking the over on points plus assists today. I don't know what it is. I imagine the line will be somewhere right around 27, maybe 28. We'll still go over. He's still averaging over in the last 8 games. And then he plays this Utah team that, for the reason that we're attacking this matchup, is because Utah is terrible. They are second in pace of play and first in opponents' defensive rating. So it's a team we look to attack. Dead last in defensive rating in the league. Also dead last in points given up, at number 2 in pace of play. Home run hit for a team to target, and that's why we're going with Siakam here for the first line. Next up, we're going to this Knicks game, and we're taking the over on Jalen Brunson. He hasn't hit in 3 straight games, and, well, he pushed in this one against Portland when we did take him, but he hit against Sacramento, hit against Philadelphia, teams that play at a decent pace, and today he gets a matchup with the Washington Wizards, who play at the 9th fastest pace in the league. But despite that, their defense is just horrific, giving up the 2nd most points per game, and they have the 2nd worst defensive rating. Jalen Brunson is a guy that we want to target here today for the over 26.5 because of the fact that he plays this Wizards team. Like I just said, there is a little bit of concern for a blowout, but I'm not worried about it. As you can see, he's due. Some poor shooting, some blowouts as of late. He's due. He's going to hit over 26.5 today. That is the first play. You can dip down to like 24.5, but I like this line at 26.5 because, like I said, 1, he's due, and 2, he's playing this Wizards team. The only reason this wouldn't hit is a blowout. Now, the next play that we have is going to be Jalen Johnson, the newest NBA All-Star, on the points plus rebounds tomorrow. He's got a very favorable matchup against the Miami Heat, who their defense isn't like terrible necessarily, but this is a Miami team that plays at the fastest pace in the league. So there's going to be a ton of opportunities for him to score and a ton of opportunities for him to get rebounds. You can go PRA if you want, but he's starting to figure it out with CJ McCollum. Went through that little dry spell, but now it seems like he's back up the other side of the mountain. And like I said, Miami plays the fastest pace in the league, and they have the 8th worst defense in terms of opponents' points per game. Defensive rating, they're kind of middle of the pack, but they give up a ton of points, and they are 4th in opponents' rebounds per game. So big time spot for him to get over on the points rebounds, and then we're staying right here in this game. Going back to what feels like the guy that we go to every game, because he's had 3 straight against Chicago where he's hit this line in 2 of 3, also hitting the Orlando game. So he's 3 for 4 over the last 2 games, and now he gets an Atlanta team that plays at the 3rd fastest pace in the league. So it's another big time matchup for him. They give up the 6th most points per game in the league, and defensive rating wise, they are 17th in the NBA, 13th worst. So again, another play that I really like. Really love all 3 of these plays. Honestly, you can get kind of ballsy with it. Go up to like 34.5 on Bam. Go up to like 39.5 on Jalen Johnson. That'd be 20 to win 165. We're gonna stay with the normal lines here. But if you wanna get into some big bucks there, you can go up. But for now, these are the first 3 plays: Johnson or Bam. That'd be my play of the day today. Both of them in a very good spot in what should be a fast-paced game. And should be a lot of points scored, a lot of rebounds to be had. So that's our first 4 plays. Remember the Siakam play, as for whatever reasons Prizepicks hasn't put up the lines for that game. But the next play we're moving on to is going to be going down to Dillon Brooks. And we hit on Dillon Brooks last game. We've bet on him twice so far. One hit, one was pretty bad. But tomorrow we get a team, and it kind of scares me with this 5 straight. Usually that's a line to stray away from, but he is playing the Portland Trailblazers, who play at the 5th fastest pace in the league. So there's a ton of rebounds to be had. There's a ton of points to be had. Now, yes, they do have Klingon down there, but they still give up a decent amount of rebounds. And then on the points side of things, they give up the 9th most points per game, and their defensive rating is ranked 16th in the NBA. So not overly fantastic. Dillon Brooks, yes, they do have Toumani Camara, but no Devin Booker, no Jalen Green. He's going to be the focal point. He's going to be a guy to go out there and get the buckets tomorrow. I am going to reduce this a little bit because the Green kind of scares me away. But I'm still going with the 24.5. Should be no reason for a blowout. Do like this. You could also, dabble into some Grayson Allen down here, or maybe like a Colin Gillespie. Really, anybody owned the Rockets. I don't think Jalen Green is going to play. We'll see. But really, anybody on the Suns is kind of a good play tomorrow. Then moving on to the rebound side of things, and we're going, unfortunately, like I said, they don't have this Jazz game posted yet. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. They should have it posted, but they don't. But we're going to a guy in Jusuf Nurkic that has been an absolute monster as of late. 15 a game with 11 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds per game over his last 6 games. And assuming he plays tomorrow, we're going to be taking his offensive rebounds because the Pacers give up the most offensive rebounds in the league. And it's not really close. And Nurkic has been an absolute monster. If you think about the Pacers, they don't really have a guy that can go down there and get the rebounds. Yes, Isaiah Jackson, Jay Huff, but neither one of those guys are like big guys like Jusuf Nurkic, Pauls, who can go out there, do the dirty work, get the rebounds. That's why we're taking Nurkic on the over for his offensive rebounds. And then the final play of the day, we're going to find the Boston Celtics and attacking this rebounding for the Dallas Mavericks. Because Kata here has only hit in one of his last 5 games, including selling force against Chicago. Probably shouldn't have went with him against Portland. I don't think we did, actually, because Klingon played. Did hit against Sacramento. And then against Milwaukee, he came up just a bit short of his line of 8.5, but his average on the season is 8, and I like this play today because Dallas plays at the 4th fastest pace, and they give up the 3rd most rebounds per game. So it should be a nice spot for Neemias Queta here today. Remember, these two plus the Jusuf Nurkic line, those are our last 3 plays. Now, I'm not saying play these together by any means. I like the 2-man parlays, but, you can do them however you want. Take the plays that you like, put them together. Like I said, if you want to try and go out and get some big money, probably what I'm going to do is throw a little bit of money on that Jalen Johnson and Bam Adebayo demon line parlay, because that's probably my favorite of the day. But with that being said, remember the rules. If we do make you any money, you have to hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy at any point, hit that like button. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.